Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all the participants. Good afternoon, SHIBU sir. Am I audible? Hello.
I video is out. My video is visible. It's clear. Good evening, sir.
Good afternoon, all the participants. On behalf of Aryavarta Sahodaya School Complex, our chairman, our president, secretary, vice president, our deputy training coordinator, and all, I welcome you all. And we have with us SHIBU sir. Our president ma'am is also there. We will start the session. Sarika ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I'm here only. It's very nice that again, after a long time, you are able to see SHIBU, one of the good, great trainer, national trainer with us. And I'm sure that we have always added they are always taking care of them. Really this credit goes to Himanshu sir, who pick up such trainer only, to which we can learn more. It's a very competent trainer, and of course, most of them are national trainers. So welcome to this training session, SHIBU sir. I was a principal, Holy Mary International School, Darbhanga, and well-experienced principal who has shown that how one can, this is an example, apart from his training, whatever we are learning, from his personal life, one can learn how to grow, how to stick in one place and make the position in that school. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Please start, sir.
Good evening, one and all. Radhika ma'am, thank you, ma'am, for your compliment. So after all, I grew up by seeing you people only. When you people are Radhika ma'am, Shiv Singh sir, Iman all are my inspiration. Me a lot to come up. Thanks, and remember everybody. Thank you very much. Today, when we are thinking about workshop, you know, a topic came to my mind. That's a pedagogy. I have opted the sorry. I opted the theme: learning outcomes and pedagogy. One among the topics that we might have attended or we might have heard the CBSE trainings. So dear teachers, when we are looking into the capacity building program on learning outcome and pedagogy, I like to say an example as we are beginning in the session, 1 hour online training. One person hired another one and asked him to break the wall just in front of his house. So he brought his articles, instruments. He start hitting. Even he start hitting the wall from morning 7 o'clock over. He start hitting 10 o'clock over, 11 o'clock over, 12 over, 3 over, 4 over. Even till 5 o'clock, he was not able to break a single bricks even. Do we consider that work as a hard work, or we will and pay him? Do we pay him? I don't think we would pay him, because we may not or we will not accept the work what he has done. Means every action should have its response, a visible response. Therefore, even Himan sir will not physics teacher in India itself. We know the Newton's third law. Newton's third law says every action has its equal and opposite reaction. I repeat, every action has its equal and opposite reaction. When we think about equal and opposite reaction, that is called outcome. That is what outcome. Therefore, sometimes we go to principal or coordinator or any of the authorities or even to our colleagues. We may discuss in the staff room or in the office to our authorities. We discuss. See, I have been working. I have been teaching. I am 100% I am doing myself, but I am not getting the result from children. I am not getting the result from children. So, when we think about this result, let's go outcome. So, a learning outcome should be there in every learning. So, there are two words. One is learning, the next one, pedagogy. Our entire session will be based on these two concepts. How can I be a learner, or how can I learn, and how can I be a person to implement better pedagogy in the class? So when we look into the first word, learning, dear ones, learning is a lifelong process of transforming information and experience into knowledge, skills, and behavior. I would like to repeat it once again, the lifelong process of transforming information and experience into knowledge, skills, and behavior. We know the small children are at your home, maybe of the child of 1 year, 1.5 year, 2-year-old children. When they see light or candle, they just want to touch or they move towards that. Once they get the information that it is hot, it harms us, they get they experience it, they convert into knowledge. That may show in their skill. Okay, they understand I should not touch, and they gradually change into behavior. When I look into the word skill, now in 21st century, everybody says we should have the best skills. Dear teachers, when I look into 21st century teachers, I haven't seen any teacher without skill. Rather, out of imagination, full of skills, multi-skill, multi-talented teachers we have. Multi-talented. But something is lacking. Do you know what? We have skills, but we do not have will. We do not have will. Willingness is not there. We have skill. Teachers are, previously we used to see our teachers, I haven't seen our teachers playing with us, right? Or our principals were not that social as we principals are with our children. We dance, even teachers, everybody. We dance with children, maybe Teachers' Day, Children's Day, even different competitions. And in the class, we are excellent. We have skills. If I said, as a teacher, when we look ourselves as a learner, we are a good learner, we have enough skills, we have good behavior. But one thing I like to put into your mind that, dear teachers, we should have willingness. We should have will. On the other hand, education is just one approach to learn. It's a process where a society passes on the knowledge, values, and skills from one generation to another. Now, as the slides go on, we will see different techniques and technologies. Still, when we look into the olden times, the traditional learning and the transformed modern learning, when we look into, there's a lot of difference. Even I might have told maybe one of the workshops, I found a kind of change in education. So I have given in one of my articles, I have given a small title, transformation of education or approach of learning or centralization of education has begun from T, and now reached into T. So begun from T, that means the Guru Shishya relation had started the sharing of knowledge and the processing of becoming a good citizen, having good knowledge and values, or improving our skill and generate or giving oneself to the next generation, that started from or started under the tree. Started under the tree. From there to now, we are sitting under the technology. We are sitting under technology. So sitting there and by fingertips, we are trying to adopt, assimilate and observe and try to implement it. Sometimes, as Agascombe says, the learning can become an armchair policy. Years back, the father of sociology, Agascombe, he was saying about the concept of armchair policy. Nowadays also, we may see some kind of learning of armchair policy because the technology gives, the Google gives informations. We sit in one place and we may try to understand the reality of it, which is not at all possible. By sitting one place, how much years we study about Hungary, unless and until I experience, I will not understand. How many years I may spend my personal time to understand the theory of swimming, and if I do not know how to swim, the knowledge remains just a mere theory. So always, the theory alone will never help. The learning should be both sides, of course, practical and theoretical too. So when we look into this learning into refer to one, acquisition and mastery of what is already known about something. So acquisition means there are a lot of platforms, dear teachers, like we teachers, we may have the net, or children have library. Every school has got library. So acquisition of knowledge should take place maybe from library or any other accessible areas. The extension and clarification of meaning of one's experience. But one's experience, for example, we may or we are attending. I hope all of us are attending. I don't know how many of us are not attending, just keeping it on. I hope all of us are attending. So after attending, what we will try, maybe there are few points which may influence you. Pray that should influence, I must be the person to, instrument influence you. If that is influenced, then that methodology or the pedagogy, what we understand, that should implement in the class and experience that method or pedagogy or the techniques that I have learned and I'm trying to experience in the classroom is going well or not. I must experience. If I am not able to experience, I will not be able to extend. Yet organized, intentional process of testing ideas relevant to problems. As we know, teachers, I always say, when we think about relevant to problems or understanding and solving the problems, we teachers are having the highest cases in the world, I hope so. I am pretty sure about. Even we say about there was a movie Jolly LLB. Okay, so in that we end after the movie, it was said crores of lakhs of cases are pending. Lakhs of cases are pending. So when we look into one teacher going to 4 or 5 sections are trying to solve one day, one teacher is trying to solve minimum minimum 200, problems. So more than a judge, we try to solve the ideas, the creativity, the innovation, the problem solving skill, the thinking skill, critical thinking skill, all skill that which we have are implemented or experimented and improve it. And ultimately, what is the outcome? We are learning out of it. We are learning out of it. So that it happens. So when we think about what is learning outcomes describe the measurable skills. As I said before, the abilities, knowledge or values that students should be able to demonstrate as a result of completing a course. Right? Annual exam finished of 2023-24 session. 2024-25 session started in the month of April, or some other places maybe later words. So when we have started the children to re-enroll into the next class, or we promoted the children to next class, what we have looked into or what we had gone through, the result. We have asked, please show your result, or we have gone through the result. And when we come to the school and we say to the management or the principal that I want to be the part of the institute where you're working now, they surely have asked you, do you have graduation, MA, B.Ed certificate or not? Course completion proof. Course completion proof. Learning outcome. What is your learning outcome? First look, your certificate, pass or fail. How much marks that we have achieved? Just a pass, or it's a first class, or distinction, or above something maybe. So that is, outcome. That shows, okay, he's good. When we see the children result, we have get a different spirit. So this outcome, completing the course outcome, that's also outcome which shows, yes, he or she has learned something differently. Just to observe 3 children in the class. One, you asked a question, the child has got up, responded the answer by kind of in a confused way. Second, you have passed the question to the second child. The second child was confident enough, but the child was saying the answers little slow. And the third child who passed the question, the child got up, just said the answer and sat. And what would be our concern or the appreciation board? Very good, you have studied. Response. So it's a kind of response. And when we see this learning outcome, again we have to look into a common result. Now I have set example of 3 children of same teacher, same duration we have given. When I enter into the class, I have 35-40 minutes class. I don't say, or nobody, no teachers say that these children who after the class, let me teach these children. We never say. Instead, we keep all children in the class. We try to teach all children together. But, and why sometimes or almost such kind of variation comes? Because it may be the methodology what we used or the pedagogy what we put into the class. Therefore, it is said in the next one, the learning outcomes, they are student-centered rather than teacher-centered. In that they describe what the students will do, not what the instructor will teach. We know to teach. And we some more times, we keep on asking children one question. I think maybe 90% of teachers ask one question. Have you understood? Or the question which is asked, this question, have you understood? This question is asked by maybe more than 90% of teachers. Have you understood? I will ask him not to ask. But instead of asking, have you understood? Have you understood? For example, we have taught a portion. After teaching, you tell that, revise, summarize the topic, summarize the portion that what you have taught, and tell children, close your books. Instead of asking, have you understood? I tell them, close your books. You ask questions. You ask questions. Automatically, you will come to know whether the child have understood or not. If understood, what's the percentage of understanding? What's the percentage of understanding? When I ask in the class, have you understood? What do they respond? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, I understood. Yes, I understood. I don't think, or some more children may keep mum. They're silent. They're silent. So, in this era, we always concentrate on this methodology, student-centered teaching. Student-centered teaching. For learning outcomes, 5 learning outcomes we see. 5 learning outcomes. 1, knowledge remembering. Knowledge remembering. 2nd, comprehension or understanding. Application or applying. Analysis or applying. Analyzing. Synthesis or creating. It can be up and down, therefore I just mentioned. Or evaluation or evaluating. What takes place? Whether it can be 5 or it can be 6. So, what is the process that I go through? Am I trying to, give knowledge or remembering, or comprehension or understanding, application or applying, analyzing or analysis or analyzing, synthesis or creating, evaluation or evaluating? Then we need to look into what is outcome of students learning. As we know, students learning, it is a program based learning, and when it comes to an end, when the course is completing, a study is completing, then we get an output. So therefore it is said, student learning outcomes are statements that specify what students will know, be able to do or be able to demonstrate when they have completed or participated in a course program. See, when we look into learning, it's supposed not to be one-sided learning. Sometimes I ask myself, or sometimes I ask to some teachers, can you please tell me such and such theory or a topic which you have taught, or a poem which you explained, or the writer who has written that particular poem. And some of us, we say a statement, sir, actually I knew, I forgot. One answer. Second answer, I would hear, sir, few years back I have taught, now I am not teaching. Or some people say, sir, I am teaching only last 1 or 2 years. In case we have such excuses of saying such things, then how can we expect the outcome from students? Is it possible that we can expect outcome from children? No. Because suppose we see the demonstration or participating. Because when I teach, or any one of us teach in the class, 40 children in a classroom. 40 children in a classroom, all 40 will not reproduce or give in return equal outcome. All will not understand equally. As per their caliber, they understand. but I am analyzing, I am assimilating, and I'm trying to give to them. So in that case, I should be the first learner. Then only I can expect. How to write learning outcomes in a lesson plan? We prepare, normal lesson plans we prepare, and we say also, yes, these things, like these are going on and it is good, this is good, this is bad, we say, right? So, when we are writing the lesson plan, we try to make, sometimes we have excuses why we have to write learning outcome, or why we have to think about, what is going to get. Sometimes such doubts we get. It is very much important. It is necessary to know, if I teach a particular lesson, what do children learn? Now, we used to learn lot many things. How many things are really useful in our lives? Or how many things we are using in our lives? Okay, there are many definitions. There are many formulas. There are many years which I have remembered. Okay, for example, when was, suppose somebody asks, what's the incident in Buxar? Don't you think people are living or having high values in the life or high post in the life without the knowledge of incident in Buxar? There are lakhs and crores of people are living in India. They do not know what is Buxar and what is the incident in Buxar. Okay, there are many people, those who do not know many of the portions. They are living in life, leading a good life, leading a good life. Then what is the necessary to learn such portions in textbook? Don't you think that we have asked such questions when we were children? Are we not thinking that same questions are repeated by children in their heart, at least in the heart? So end of the chapter, at least it may not be possible to implement or to make it into the life of children every period or after every completion of small topics, but this, at least a proper learning outcome, should be written and should be implemented at least at the end of the chapter. At least at the end of the chapter. The learning outcome should start within an ambiguous action or verb, enabling the result to be observed or measured in some way. The learning outcome to provide is a verb. The next step would be to state the object of the verb. For example, it can be in learning outcome or a quality feedback. This object of the verb or what we provide. For example, as I said, we are going to the class. Have you understood? Yes, sir, I understood. I have conducted examination. Maybe periodic test I have conducted or chapter test I have conducted, and children could not write well. Hardly 5 to 6, 5 to 10 children only could write, maybe in a better way or the best way. Then what about the rest 30? So this learning will not be effective in the life. So therefore it is said, reflection, first define intended learning outcome. Intended learning outcome. Next, instructional process in classroom. Third, measure learning outcomes. Fourth, reflection. It should reflect. I wanted to go to marriage fund. I wear the best possible dress what I had, and I have taken my makeup kit. I have taken my hair dress and everything. I was putting maybe foundation cream and powder, this, that, everything I have put in my face. I looked into mirror, nothing was visible. Nothing was visible. And it was looking like, no, I haven't applied anything. What would be my thoughts? What would be my, feeling at that time? Right? Or I just put the dress, the best attractive and costly dress, and I went to the function, and one of my friends or the visitor of that function just asked me, "You're not looking nice. You're not looking nice." What would be the feeling? See, every point of my life, I expect I should be returned. I should get something back. Okay, I should get something back. So here, what are the outcomes can be lesson plan? When we tell about we have to write in lesson plan, then what are lesson plan? First, what are lesson outcomes? Like lesson outcomes sometimes called intended learning outcomes. Intended. It's not a peripheral learning outcomes. Okay, children, you visit something and make a project and come. For example, sometimes teachers say shapes, geometry. Mathematics teachers, when they teach geometry, they tell, I have seen, even I have seen this sometimes, if you want to learn shapes, go to the kitchen. Go to kitchen and stay with your mother half an hour. Observe what are the articles, mother or father, they are, nowadays fathers also enter into kitchen. Anybody who deals the kitchen, just observe, what do they, take up, use it, wash and keep, cut it, or observe it, you will find out. And you may write down a project work or a kind of experience. Intentionally I am giving, and I understand what will be the outcome. For learning objective or student focused goal, or are measurable, observable, and specific statements that clarify and clearly indicate what a student should know and be able to do at the end of the lesson. End of the lesson. For example, I am a student of English. So when I read the poem, for example, a famous poem of Robert Frost, Wrote Not Taken. When I read the poem, there are different stages of poem. Poet is confused, poet is regretting, poet is becoming confident. These are the three portions we see in the poem. Okay, three stages of poem. First, the poet is confused. Next, he regret, and he becomes confident. Why he becomes confident, and he tells the line ends in this way. He ends in this way. All that made differences in my life. All that made differences in my life. Suppose we have read the poem, we understand my intention. Means when I finish a chapter, a lesson, a unit, a clear idea should be there within the minds of children. What should be? There is a philosopher, or we can say innovative educationist, John Henry Pestalozzi. John Henry Pestalozzi, he is the one who has come up with the word pedagogy, and he is known as the father of pedagogy. In pedagogy, he is the father of it, and his immense contribution towards establishing the scientific foundation of the teaching learning process, TLP. Okay, TLP, teaching learning process, towards that. Okay, I teach, learn, and that process that takes place in the classroom. Yes, he has got a lot of contribution. So when we look into here, we have said teaching learning process or pedagogy. Just a GK I like to give. The word pedagogy has come from the Greek word paidos, which means your child, boy or child, plus agozos, it means a leader. Means, pedagogy means, pedagogy, two words. means child's or boy a leader. How can make a leader? Pedagogy refers to the teaching profession as well as the science of education. For example, as a college subject or school subject, university subject, any subject that we can deal with. So pedagogy refers to the method and practices of a teacher. How do I deal in the class? How do I put my outputs in the class? It is how they approach their teaching style and relates to the different theories they use, how they give feedback and assessment they set. When people refer to the pedagogy of teaching, it means how the teacher delivers the curriculum to the class, to the children. That is what meant by pedagogy. I don't think we need a lot of explanation more than this to understand pedagogy. Okay, so fully a practice that what we do in the class. So, therefore it is said, when people refer to the pedagogy of teaching, it means how the teacher delivers the curriculum to the class. There are two curriculums what we deal in the class. In the beginning, I have said one theoretical or printed curriculum by which students get bored in the class. Really, children get boring in the class. You take out a textbook and start reading the textbook without much outer knowledge, children will get boring. That's called theoretical or printed curriculum. Second, my experience, my analysis, my wisdom, my knowledge that I put into the printed material. Then the perfect curriculum goes to the students. It gives the perfection. Right? For example, I am teaching about poverty. So what do? When I teach the portion poverty, we may contribute or show the picture. A vulture was sitting and the small boy was bitten by a vulture. Or a boy was sitting behind the camel to get the shit of camel to eat. We may show the pictures, world famous pictures. Still, will they understand poverty properly? They will feel sympathy. When I said this, if I say these two incidents little bit emotional way, I'm 100% sure, you will feel sympathy, 100% sure. Okay, that's a sympathy. It is not the pure learning. Learning comes, they have to feel it. Then only we understand. Suppose I need to know the taste of ice cream, I have to eat it. How much pictures and videographies if I see also, that is not going to give the experience that I get as I consume. That I'm not going to get it. So when we see the pedagogy, there are a few points we have to see what is pedagogy. One, pedagogy refers to the art and science of teaching. First point. Dear teachers, it's the art and science of teaching. It determines the method and practice of teaching. Some effective pedagogical approaches are maybe behaviorism, constructivism, social constructivism, liberalist approach. Okay, three I have said. One, science, it's art of science of teaching. Art and science of teaching. How do I teach? How do I present? How do I go to the class? Okay, those things, how I stand in the class, what is my body language. It's an art. When I sing a song, when I recite a poem, for example, I am saying a Hindi poem, Jhansi Ki Rani. When I say the poem Jhansi Ki Rani, am I feeling myself as Jhansi Ki Rani? It's called art. And what is science? Whenever we give the knowledge to children, it should be authentic, not beating around the bush. It may be like this. I think so. We say in the class, I think so. It may be like this. I will tell you later. Okay, that is in some extent it is okay. Means I am not confident of what I say. That is not science of teaching. Many of us may be confused what is science. Sometimes I asked to the teachers or some, even children I ask, but you have a subject science. What is science? Sir, physics, chemistry, biology is called science. Physics, chemistry, biology is called science. Then, beta, why do you study social science? Children keep quiet. Why do you study moral science? They keep quiet thinking. Why it is? Science is nothing but it has no connection with physics, chemistry, biology. Science means a systematic study about a branch of knowledge is science. A systematic study about a branch of knowledge is called science. So when I enter into the class, my demonstration should have an art of presentation. When I say some topic, it should have a scientific authenticity. Never just, scientific of teaching is called authenticity, genuinity should be there. And this should change. It may be of behaviorism or constructivism, social constructivism or liberalist approach. It should take place. When I was, drafting this, in the, this, I was going through some of the teachings of B.Ed. When we were studying B.Ed, all of us have studied B.Ed. In B.Ed also, we have studied different pedagogies. Okay, pedagogies we have, seen, like is a term that refers to the method of how teachers teach. The theory and in practice. Again, I am saying the same, but I'm said in the beginning, theory and practice. Theory and practice. So the teachers during B.Ed training, they used to tell us, when you go for a 2 months, 3 months professional teaching period for end of B.Ed, they used to give lot of information and we used to implement even. We used to go simply. Okay, so we go and we try to put into both. But now when we become a teacher, I do not know how far we are putting into practical whatever we studied in B.Ed. So we need to look into this. Pedagogy is formed by an educator's teaching, beliefs and concerns. The interplay between culture and different ways to learn. Interplay between culture and different ways to learn. Why different ways to learn? Why different ways to learn? Do you know why? When I studied in grade 10, when I studied my metric, I have studied English, I have studied my vernacular language, I have studied my third language Hindi, even and I have studied first subject maths, science, in science different subjects, social science different subjects, and we had in metric in SSLC 10th class 12 papers. Okay, I completed my from Kerala board. In Kerala board those days 12 papers were there. Okay, after 12 papers, my interest was in English. So I am a student of English. Right? The children who are interested in maths, they became maths teacher, expert in maths. physics, they physics, different subjects. So when I put different ways to learn, even the slow learner or the blooming student or the child will understand better. Therefore, sometimes I tell my teachers also, don't ever give one answer to one question. Don't give one answer. I would prefer 3 answers for one question. 3 answers for one question. Conclusion will be same. But answers what we give, it should be minimum 3. But practically it is little impossible. It consumes time. But the next option, 2. Giving 2 answers to one question is not, it's not impossible. It is possible. Why do we say different, 2 ways? Yet child, we know a class consists of 3 level children. A class consists of 3 level children. 3 level children, average, below average, above average. I have written a problem. I have given a solution, which is written by maybe guides or what I studied or reference books, whatever maybe I have just written the board. Do you think 40 children will be able to assimilate that answer? No, because their caliber to understand that answer, maybe it varies. It varies. So what we have to do, we give, one is meant for average children, above average children, one solution. One solution I give only for, you write below average children. For example, a question is asked for 5 marks in mathematics. Step by step, marks we give in the examination. At least you give one conclusion itself. If the child can remember and write the last 2 stages, at least the child will get 1.5 marks or 2 marks. At least 2 marks per instead of getting 0. So, this different ways. Therefore, 5 approaches we have. Integrative, reflective, inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning. So these 5 ways, I don't think I will have to explain these 5 things. We are implementing the class. Only thing, as I said, first, we are not having lack of skill. We are having lack of willingness, will. So this should change. Then constructivist or collaboration in the class, or integrative classes, or reflective or inquiry-based learning will surely take place. Here you just see list of teaching methods. See the list of teaching methods. Okay, teacher-centered instruction, small group instruction, or student-centered, project-based, Montessori, inquiry-based learning, flipped classroom, cooperative, learning. As I said here, pedagogy, constructivist, collaboration, inquiry-based, integrative, and reflection. See, pedagogical skills can be defined and example. Pedagogy refers to the methods and strategies used in teaching. And we know the definition what I have said. When we see the example, adopting teaching methods and materials to meet the diverse teaching needs of students. Or scaffolding means providing temporary support that helps the students to reach higher level of comprehension than they would without assistance. So that can be considered a kind of pedagogical approach. Just I said, just before slide I have showed you, just that's called the approach here. Learning objective and learning outcome is different. So objective, instruction, outcome. This is called it's a kind of a flow chart we can make. We can make a flow chart of first we have to fix objective, instruct it, okay, then we'll get the outcome. So when we see the complete taxonomy of instruction, outcome, and planning, we see towards cognitive domain, maybe towards affective domain or psychomotor domain, or it can be different behaviors form simple to complex. Simple to complex. There are two types of teaching we can have in the in the class. One simple to complex, one complex to simple. There is a Sufi proverb. Sufi proverb goes like this: if you can explain a topic in a simple way, that means I have learned. If I can explain a topic in a simple way, that means I have learned. Yes, you know what will happen? Even the simple topics we may convert into complex. Children may not be able to understand. The active collaborative classroom environment. How do I make my class maybe dynamic, engagement, decision making, it may be skill building, experimentation, hands-on, trial and error, failure, repetitive, loud, interactive, conversational, accomplishment, unpredictable, student-centered, soft-skilled, independent, real-world, argumentative, poetic, challenging, difficult, frustrating. All these things, when we see the collaborative classroom environment, these things are very much necessary. Even sometimes when we sit in a 500 square feet or 600 square feet classroom, even sometimes I've observed, our voice may not be able to reach at the end. Okay, so how do I present? How do I walk in the class? What are things I do? See here, case-based learning. Case-based learning. It's all things, to make the better pedagogy, to get a better outcome. First, establish learning outcome. Assign student role. Motivate students. Create a strategy document. Develop educational activities. Present the solution to the problem. Inquiry-based learning. Just ask, investigate, create, discuss, reflect. Again, ask, my reflection is correct or not. Else, we won't be getting the answer. Lab-based learning. We have different labs. Maybe maths lab, social science lab, composite lab, physics lab, chemistry lab, biology lab, computer labs. Lot of labs we have through which start thinking, start experimenting, understanding the things. See here, experiential learning. Called cycle of experiential learning. We are well aware about many of the workshops you might have seen. Concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, active experimentation. Concepts. How can we come with the concepts? So when we think into concepts, see here, knowledge, skills, and values. Knowledge, skills, and values. Intended learning outcomes. In the beginning also I said about intended learning outcomes. I should have intention. I should have intention what learning I am going to give, what outcome I am going to intended. If I target something, I should get it. Else I may become disappointed and the output of the chapter or the lesson or the course will never happen. Formative or summative assessment. Teaching learning activities. Teaching learning activities. So this is a triangle. This is a triangle which we have to go through every stage. Every stage. Suppose I am not having a proper intended outcome learning, I don't understand. For an assessment, if I do not have this, I will not be able to understand. So this triangle in all sides, it should be approached. It should be implemented in the classroom. What's the difference between learning outcome and learning objective? Sometimes we think, objective and outcome both are same. No. Outcomes is a letter word for the end result. End result. Okay. So, my objective, when I am going to class, what is my objective? About a chapter, about a topic, about the subject even. And how do I convince the children that my objective? If I am able to convince my objective, I got the more or less I will be success to get out. And children responsibility to implement. Implement, and if the children give a good approach towards this. I have success. So it's a community-based, learning. It is not that I am an excellent, teacher in a particular subject. I am teaching excellent, but the community or the children are not able to assimilate it. Then that teaching will not have any kind of result. Applying academic knowledge and critical thinking skill. Reflection and assessment leading to deeper understanding of course content and civic engagement skill. Collaborating partnership between the school, college, community, or the universities. See here some kind of active learning methods. Think, pair, or share. Collaborative learning groups. Students-led review sessions, games, analysis, and student database, student engaged exam questions, mini researchers, proposals of projects, classroom research or symposium, analyze case studies, keeping journals or notes, write and produce a newsletter, concept mapping. For example, in my school, we are making a maths team. Every month, we are publishing a maths booklet. I mean, maths monthly, edition. A small booklet of 4 to 5, 6 pages. Putting them on our website, giving the hard copy. Children study, or maps. Okay, children, for example, we ask one question to the children. Point the place, and what do? We give the map. Therefore, children, they do not know how to draw even Indian map. Just you can ask how many children know how to draw, our Bihar map. How many of us may know to draw the Bihar map? How many of us may know to draw the Indian map properly? We may point to Kashmir, Kanyakumari, Assam, and Goa. But how can we draw perfectly? These things from the childhood onwards, it should be in practical. See, this is the drastical change. Pedagogical orientation, pedagogical practice, digital pedagogy. Everything comes here only. See here, pedagogical orientation reach into digital pedagogy, pedagogical practices reach into here, and digital pedagogy competencies also come here, even this vice versa. Now, even though we say that Corona has distracted the world, when we look into digital world, it is a benefit for us. Many of us start using the smart boards, different accessible units. So, dear teachers, when we look into the topic learning outcome and pedagogy, it incites us one main thing, that is learn. What we learn, I should get the outcome. Before I go to the class, be sure that I should be prepared with the proper techniques, tools, teaching aids, what I have to project in front of the children, through which the expected result should be produced. As I said in the beginning, a person is hitting the wall, keep on hitting the wall, keep on hitting the wall. Wall is not coming down, his hand is paining, started bleeding, and end of the day, no result. The owner is disappointed, you are disappointed, everybody is disappointed. And the wall stands the same without shaking, no result. So, when I go to the wall to break, why to use the hand? Use the different tools which can break the wall easily. Nowadays, even a lot of tools of called the JCB, one kick, finished. The best tool. So, no, not even wastage of time. Not even wastage of time. Removing the soil from the ground. JCB comes, hits and removes within a seconds or minutes, clear. Means the best possible technology, the best possible method should be used in the class, which can make the students active in the class, understand the syllabus and reproduce it and give the expected outcome, what we want, what they want. That's the main purpose of seeing the topic learning, outcome, and pedagogy. With this, I would like to thank our mentor sir, CV Singh sir, President Radhika ma'am, and Himanshu sir, and all office bearers of Aryavarta Sahodaya for giving me a chance to share my views on that learning outcomes and pedagogy. And I thank all teachers those who have been part of this session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
It's really privilege for all of us that we had to go through such a marvelous training session. So thank you, Shibu sir. Simple ma'am, are you here? Okay. So we have already shared the attendance link. And now I
Himanshu sir,
request.
if
Yes,
any
ma'am.
teacher, if any participants has got any question, they can throw the question through the chat box so that Shibu sir can pick up the questions and answer it. It's
Sure,
a
ma'am.
complete, it's a vast course. He did it within very nicely, very precise way. But if anybody has got any problem, because it's a pedagogy and outcome and objective, it's the main three. So if anybody has got doubt, they can ask.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, please. Anyone? Okay. So thank you, Shibu sir. Thank you all
Thank
the
you, sir.
participants. And with this, now we are at the verge to conclude this session. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We can leave now.